We'll find out.
Hello and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I'm Len D'Amico, and this is episode number 131. Today we have John Schwab.
Hi, Len.
John, it is such a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Very nice to finally meet you in person, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we got it together. You know, highly respected, loved by the Columbus community and beyond. John Schwab, musician, assembler, entertainer. John, how do you describe yourself?
Oh, I try not to.
You what's an average day for you? Average
day these days?
Yeah, today.
Yeah. I just turned 74, so it's changed quite a bit. I get up in the morning around between 7 and 9. It takes two coffees and about an hour and a half before I'm ready to go out, and I go to the gym, and I do. We do that with my gym buddies 3 days a week, and then I do the other days, either ride the bicycle or the elliptical. In the summer when I'm playing all the gigs, I come home from that and have a bite to eat. It's time for a nap because I got to play at 6. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what's awesome too, John, is what year did you start?
I started playing professionally full time in May of 1970. I played in the junior high school bands and I started playing in the 7th grade. But if you take full-time professional musician, it was May of 1970. I went to Ohio University for 1 year. I was majoring in draft evasion. It was the Vietnam War, and I really didn't want to go. I'm not proud of that because some of my best friends are vets, and I don't like to say that like I'm bragging about it. It's nature. That's the truth. And so when I was at OU, so that kind of makes me talk about the fact that I've always said I've never had a day job, but that's not really true. You want to hear the story about that?
We do, John.
Okay. So of course, like when I was a kid in the 6th grade and stuff, I cut grass, did whatever I had to do. I had a paper route for the Columbus Citizen Journal. When I was in the 6th grade, I had a paper route. So I would be sent out into the streets of Columbus, Ohio at 4 a.m. by myself when I was in the 6th grade. Can you imagine that happening today?
No.
And I had like 75 papers and over a pretty big area. And
in Columbus, though, right, John?
Yeah, in Columbus.
Okay.
And I took the money. I took the money from the mowing the grass. I bought my own bicycle. I took my bicycle and I delivered papers, and I took the money from the papers and bought my first guitar.
Nice.
For $40, and then
what kind of guitar was that, John?
It was a Silvertone.
Wow.
Which was made by Sears.
Did you buy it out of the catalog, or
No,
did you
it was used.
Really? You got a used one.
And the guy I bought it from was a neighbor, and he's such a great guy, and during COVID, he sent me a big check. He said, "I still feel guilty for selling that guitar to you."
What?
Because he thought he'd rip me off, So he more than made up for it. That was great. And anyway, and then when I was 16, I delivered pizza for a while, $1 an hour, plus all the pizza I could eat. When they found out how much pizza I could eat, they fired my fat ass. And that brought us to senior year. And I played at bars from the time I was 15 on, 6 nights a week.
Was it the same Silvertone, or did you
No.
some gear?
I moved on some gear.
Yeah, gotcha.
I played 9 to 2, 6 nights a week. My parents allowed me to because they could see the drive in me, and they said as long as you make it to school every day. And I mastered sleeping without getting caught with my hands like this and my book down there. And I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And then I went away to OU for one year, and that was the year that Kent State happened, and that's when they closed down the school. They sent everybody home, and I'm back. After 9 months in Athens, Ohio, I'm back to my parents' house in the attic, going, "What am I going to do?" I got a call from a guy named Mickey Wilson, and he said that he heard I was in town. He's going on the road, and that summer we went on the road all summer long up in Wisconsin, which was gorgeous. It was a fantasy summer. It was wonderful. We played everywhere in Wisconsin, and I never stopped from then on.
Oh man, summer in Wisconsin did it for you.
Well, it was freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, I was out on the
Music
road.
is
Man.
freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's awesome. So then you were basically then how old? Like
I was 18.
Yeah.
And I've been going full time since then.
Right on, man. That's so cool. And so we're talking how many? My math's horrible.
Well, I was 70. This is 25, so that's 55 years.
You're in your 55th year of making music, and you're playing live all over at least the States. Are you globally traveling now?
No, not really. Just only like we've been to England a couple times, and we did these cruises. We weren't part of the cruise. It was a separate thing where they sold the cruise because we were on it, and we just would play it. Kind of like the blues cruises and stuff like that.
Right.
As long as my days of traveling 500 miles a day in a van are over. I'm not doing that. If we get first class treatment up, we'll go anywhere.
Yeah. Do you bring your guitar everywhere, or you always have some access to that? Are you always playing music even 55 years later?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I didn't lately. I don't take my guitars on our little vacations because I don't know.
Just taking your break.
You can't really take them on the plane anymore, and I don't like putting them underneath unless I'm carrying that 60-pound flight case, for my 3-pound guitar.
Yeah.
But boy, that's hard to carry around town.
Yeah, that's for sure. So you went to Wisconsin at 18, and how long did that go for you?
Well, we were just playing bars.
Summer.
It was a lounge gig. We were playing in Green Bay. 6 nights a week, 9 to 2. That's the way it was back then. And then we were in Madison. We were in Madison, Wisconsin. This was the days the hippies were just coming to an end, but the radicals were really, really big right then. And we were actually playing in Madison, Wisconsin, the day that some radicals blew up the chemistry building. Do you remember hearing about that?
For sure.
Yeah, we were there.
I was young though.
Yeah.
I was younger. I don't know if I remember that specific incident, but maybe read about it later.
We were playing in a strip club there in Madison. We were playing at a strip club, and I remember singing a song I really loved, with just singing my heart out, And at the end of the song, there was some applause. I opened up my eyes, and of course they're clapping for the girl dancing over there in the corner. Not us, but it was a great training ground, man. Playing 6 nights a week, 5 hours a night. That way I did that basically from 70, 71, 72, 73. So about 5 years.
Yeah. What caused the change in direction from that point? Do you remember?
Well, bands come and go.
Yeah.
And
music's fluid.
You've been in a lot of bands.
It's fluid. Things move around.
And there's a lot of personnel issues.
Yeah.
So at one point, I decided to play solo acoustic, that's been a good friend of mine talked me into doing it. He was bartending at this bar, and that's been a great thing for me, just to have that in my back pocket. I can always go play solo acoustic no matter what happens, And I've got more into acoustic type music at that point, and I got together with another acoustic guy. We traveled all over. Remember Steak and Ales?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And that's man. We thought we were living a life, because instead of 6 nights 9 to 2, it was 5 nights 8 to 12. So luxurious, man.
And you got a good dinner, right?
Yeah, we got food, man.
Awesome.
And we traveled everywhere from here to down in Kentucky, out to Kansas.
The chain? Was it the chain?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really cool gig. And then when I came back from that, and him and I split ways, was the summer I met Cliff Aldrich, playing golf with Cliff Aldrich, who was the manager for McGuffey Lane. And he was telling me about this place they were opening. They were taking the Castle down on campus, and he had his band called McGuffey Lane, and they were going to start playing there. And he wanted somebody to play, be the opening act for them. And so I went and did that the summer of '76. And, actually, in the interim, I played with a band called J.D. Blackfoot.
Yeah.
And he was really big in St. Louis. We had some amazing shows out there. He and his band just got inducted into the St. Louis Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sweet.
And so that was exciting. And then I left that band when I started playing the solo thing in the summer of '76. And that Zachariah thing really took off. And then, I decided I didn't want to be in any more bands. I was done with all band drama.
Well, yeah, there is some of that. But when you say the Zachariah thing, for those that may not know, what is the Zachariah thing, John?
It was it was called the Castle, and that's when we started playing there in '76. And Cliff Aldrich had a really good vision to make it in this place called Zachariah's Red Eye Saloon. And that was when, he knew about the outlaw thing that was happening down in Texas and everything. It was kind of designed around that. And we had a lot of people come in through there. It became Zachariah's on January of '77, and that was my first night with McGuffey Lane. And we opened up for Sleep at the Wheel at Zachariah's.
Nice.
So we had people like, there were all kinds. Jerry Jeff Walker was there a lot, the Passett Dart Band, David Bromberg, a lot of big names. Who's the banjo guy? Scruggs, Earl Scruggs. He played there a lot.
Yep. Got
to know a lot of Commander Cody. There were lots of bands that were playing there. It was our home place. That's where we played. And in the spring of '77, we started recording, trying to make an album. And you just want me to continue telling
sure
the
thing,
history?
absolutely.
Yeah.
John, your fans are going to love hearing this story coming from your voice. And I know, people get these bits and pieces in between your songs when you're playing live.
Yeah.
Something will inspire you to tell a story, but this is nice. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm boring you.
No, hell no,
and,
man. Are you kidding me?
So we started going, we won the Forum magazine, I think it was called, and we won the Band of the Year or something. We won free studio time at a studio. I can't remember the name of it now. And we went in there with a producer from Cleveland, and it was pretty good. But it just didn't seem right. So we kept working on that in studios around town, and eventually had enough for an album and just threw it all away. And started again through '78 and '79, doing it again. And then we, with other studios in town, we finally ended up at Cincinnati at Fifth Floor Recording in '79, and we got what we thought was the album, and we put it out, and we were finally happy with it. And we released it on our own label, sponsored by Paradise Island Productions, which was a promotion company in town that did a lot of concerts.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the money up. I didn't know at the time, but ironically, they were funded by a lot of pot sales, and that came out later. It kind of hurt us in the business at that point.
Yeah.
When everything was pretty illegal back then, and he's
again, times change, don't they?
Yeah, the guy that put the money up ended up going to prison for 5 years. But we put that album out on our own. On that he put the money up.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. He put the money up, and it was on the Paradise Island label. That was his promotion company, and we ended up selling 40,000 records in about 2 months. and Atlantic caught wind of us, and they paid attention. That that was before they had computers that kept track of everything, and they would make calls out to all the little record stores. That was part of their deal, and they had people calling every record store. And the Stones happened to be just put out their one of their albums, and everybody they called said, "Well, McGuffey Lane's #1. What's the Stones? The Stones are 2 or 3 or whatever, So Atlantic Records came around and signed us to a deal. We did 4 albums with them. And I'm boring myself.
No,
now.
you're not.
I'm boring myself.
And this is the legacy of the early McGuffey Lane days, the band McGuffey Lane in Columbus, Ohio, and just you guys were on fire, and you still are.
Oh, thank you. Well,
and there's a reunion show coming up, is there not?
Well,
John?
we don't call them reunion.
Okay.
It's a reunion. It's a Zachariah reunion.
Great.
That's what it is. Because we've been playing, 30, 40, 50 gigs a year. Every year since '96. We took a little break in the early '90s, but lost my train of thought.
Yeah. No, that's okay. No, it got me disheveled there.
Me too. What was I? You can edit this out, right?
I really don't edit, but it's okay. I think the listeners are laughing at us because we're sitting here trying to think through.
Oh my God! So, okay, because we got signed to Atlantic, we got signed to a big agency, booking agency.
Yeah.
So it was called. See, I won't be able to think of the words when I'm driving home. I don't remember the name of the agency, but it had the Allman Brothers, Charlie Daniels Band, Marshall Tucker, and Atlanta Rhythm Section in McGuffey Lane. So from then on, we were playing with one of those 4 other acts for opening acts. Yeah.
Yeah, live.
And then this is when Charlie Daniels had Devil Went Down to Georgia. So it was 20,000.
A lot of great.
20,000 every night. 20,000 seats, and it was fantastic. And our first 2 nights with the Allman Brothers were at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, which was awesome and unbelievable. And it just went from there for the next 4 years.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yep, and so many in Columbus and beyond, obviously, right? Just iconic music and memories that have been created.
Yeah, our fan base is just unbelievable, and just yesterday I got a message from Eric Nesda. I was talking to you about him. You need to talk to him about his show.
Love to.
Yeah, but he said that his neighbors have a new dog, and they love the McGuffey Lane Christmas album. They want to know when it's going to be on Spotify, and they named their dog McGuffey. And
perfect.
Yeah. So that's the kind of love we get, And I've got some friends that
listen, John. I think there's probably a lot of dogs named McGuffey in this town. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the horses, people, some good friends of ours that we've known from. They come to see us all the time play, and they've got a bunch of horses named after our songs. So that's always
so cool,
man.
That's
nice,
So cool.
People are so sweet, man.
Do you have a favorite McGuffey Lane song?
Mm-mm. I don't. It's
it's too much.
It's
the music.
It's just like your kids.
It's
you
it's
can't
the
have
music.
You can't have a favorite kid, right?
You have a family. That's what you have, right? All that.
Yeah.
Just awesome original music that is a part of the culture of Columbus.
Well,
and it's huge. Very huge.
And now now we have I don't know 11, 12 albums. I think 11 is what we have. So. And people always come up and say, "I love your album." I'm like, "Well, I'm glad you love the album. Check out the other 10."
Well, you record all the time, do you not? I mean, you've released religion, very frequent.
I haven't yet, but I haven't I haven't since COVID.
Years.
Yeah, since COVID, I haven't, and probably I don't know. We're talking about one right now.
Good.
We've got some interest from some people that want us to do another album, and it's just there's no money in music anymore. And it's all free.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and
But
you would
it's
know
but
more
we
as much as most engaged as at the level and the degree that you are. How are you? How do you coexist in that environment? What tips do you have for folks that are out there? Not having the heyday in the experience where it was different, say in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s.
there's no comparison. I mean, I can't correlate it to. I mean, I love this guy Jesse that's out there right now. He started in the field. See the guy that sings in the field? What's his last name? I can't even think of it. I mean, he went out in the field and started singing the song. Now he's all over the place. He's playing Carnegie Hall.
Yep.
That seems to be. I mean, going viral seems to be the way to go. I mean, I don't know what a record label can do for you these days.
Right on.
Except take all your money. All their deals are called 360 deals. You know that? Yeah.
Today.
Record label deals today. Like when we were at Atlantic Records, they have something that no one's heard of today. It's called tour support. They would pay us to be out on the road to promote the record because we were going to sell so many records. And we ended up selling a lot of records. But now it's a 360. Like if you sign with a record label now, they get a piece of your merchandise, they get a piece of your publishing, they get a piece of your live shows. They take something of everything. And I don't know. I don't want to sound like a bitter old man, but I'm not going to sign that contract.
No, I'm with you, man. I understand. One important aspect of today's podcast episode is a little shout out to Gabrielle Johnston.
Yeah, I love Gabby.
As do I,
Yeah.
and I get to work with Gabrielle. She's got one of her current efforts is Soul Revival, which is a fun story.
Yeah.
It's rooted at Gatsby's.
Yeah.
Which I believe was founded around the same time as, your Columbus.
Well, I started with McGuffey Lane in '77, and that's the first year Gatsby's was '77.
Is there a correlation there? Is there a relationship?
There's a relationship
coincidence?
now. I mean, I'm very good friends with the guy that started it. He's down in Florida now, and I stay in touch with him all the time. And the new owner, who's only been there since 2000, he's a good friend of mine too.
Good deal.
And that's been a kind of just like a little. I started playing there when McGuffey Lane was kind of going through rough spots there in the '80s with the deaths and all that kind of stuff. I started playing solo gigs again because it was a good thing to have in your back pocket, right? And I started at Gatsby's, and that was '87, I think. And I'm still playing there. I don't play year round. I ever since the patio got open, they opened the patio back in 2000 or I think it was '99 or 2000. I just play in the summer there. Ever since then, so it's been a long. In fact, AJ Angelo, who's a mainstay there.
Love AJ.
I got him the gig.
Love him.
I got him the gig.
Now, how did John Schwab get AJ Angelo the gig? How did that happen?
Because they were looking for somebody else to play because somebody got sick or something. I said, call my buddy AJ, and he's been there ever since. I forgot all about that until one of his anniversary shows. He said, and there's the guy that got me this gig. I went, oh, that's right, AJ. Thanks for remembering.
And he's just an awesome entertainer.
Yeah, he is.
Staple at that particular
Absolutely.
place. And beyond. He's all over.
Oh man, he's a master at raising funds for Children's Hospital. Or not, well, we raised a lot of money for Children's Hospital together, but he's been to the cruise for cancer.
AJ does so much for so many, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Where are you spending your time? Where do you like to spend your time today, John?
Oh, I just got remarried
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and since that has happened, her and I have spent a lot of time traveling when I'm, in the off season. And yeah, we were childhood sweethearts, and when we were 14, and then we ended up being married for 18 years, and then I was becoming a rock star, and she was becoming a mom, and it's, I've heard people say I could have been a bit of an asshole, so I deserved it. She split, and then we got back together. So now
Recently?
my first wife is now my second wife, and my current wife is my ex-wife, and we just took a little 33-year break.
Love it.
So we have our 2 year. She asked me to marry her 2 years ago. We got married on the December 22nd.
True love, man.
Yeah, man.
True love.
We're really happy. So
Congrats.
we spent a lot of time together, and I'm trying not to blow it this time.
A little less rock and roll, or what's the magic number there? What's the change?
The magic number is paying attention to her and listening to her.
You're learning, aren't you?
It took a little while.
You're giving us a good example. Thinking back, though, 55 years we did the math?
Yeah.
What's shining through for you?
Oh, I was just talking about the tours with the Allman Brothers. I was just talking about the Fox Theater with 2 nights in a row at the Fox Theater, and just other things like Passaic, New Jersey. The first time we actually got to see Greg up close, and he just and then we got to the point where we were just hanging with him. I was playing golf with Dickie Betts, and I was, he was coming over to the house, and it's just quite a
experience.
Yeah,
right?
I think about when Tommy, the guitar player for Charlie Daniels, invited us. Tommy Crane, he invited us out to his farm, and he was really backwoods, and his doors were open, and his chickens and his cows are allowed to walk through his house and stuff. We're having a party, and I go in to get another beer. He's having a party for us, and I go in to get another beer, and Steve Reese, our bass player from McGuffey Lane at that time, was he's still with the band, but he he was trapped by the sink in the kitchen by a cow.
No way.
I'm not making this up, man. You can't make this stuff up.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thoughts I'll have. They'll pop in and out of my mind,
yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's the mind of an ADD person,
That's fun. That makes for fun songs, and it makes for fun. How does a song hit you, John? You said you guys were thinking about one, like how, without divulging any secrets, like generally speaking, what's your magic, Mojo?
Oh, it's like
they're beautiful songs.
When we got signed to Atlantic, and then after the first 2 albums were out, they decided to send us to Nashville, and Nashville is just their culture is they put people together and they sit them down in a room like you and I are right now, knee to knee, and just bang out songs. Now, I never adjusted to that. I never adjusted to that style. It's always been for me like the songs, their best songs, just kind of come to you. Like Merle Haggard said, they're a little gift from God. I've heard Paul Simon talk about the same thing, just sitting out there with his guitar and letting just free flowing, letting, like Paul McCartney, scrambled eggs, just let words flow along with the music, and what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah. The way the lyrics would come for him, he would just
like Yesterday was originally Yesterday was originally scrambled eggs. Did you know that?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
okay.
I did. Yeah, I have. I've learned that.
And that's my best way of getting songs. Another way is like when I'm driving around, I'll get I'll have whole songs come complete, and those are the best ones. I think those are always the best ones. Although, there's a song of mine called "Be a Friend of Mine," who I get more requests from beautiful young women all the time for that one, and I had to work my ass off on that one for a couple of weeks to finish it. So there's no
magic formula.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. I will say, I really like to have a lyrical hook, like just the title. If I could just get a thing going with the chorus,
and then you can go from that.
Yeah, and then I could do the verse, and then these days I'll call in one of my buddies to help. I usually get stuck at the second verse, and I'll call Delin Christian or Rick Cooper or Dan Tyler, and go from there.
Good deal. That's awesome.
But I have finished a couple of my own songs lately, all the way through from top to bottom, and that always makes you feel good. No, I don't have any. I wish I had some really good advice.
I hope that that people just keep doing it. I mean, it's a really creative, emotional experience for me. It really is. But there's a self of accomplishment that you're describing that is still there for you.
Oh, absolutely.
After this time, it's a lifelong accomplishment string of events for you.
Yeah, I just got back from Key West, and I went down there because I got a song in a movie that was debuting at the Key West Film Festival.
Awesome.
And I had not seen it till we got down there, and it was really a great experience. It was a bucket list thing, to get a song in a movie, and
absolutely.
Hope it leads to more. So. Yeah.
I hope it does for you, because that's really cool. Where's your actually one of the things I was curious about too, John, for you is how many guitars do you currently
I am not a guitar nut.
Harder kind of.
No,
yeah.
I mean I've got a lot of guitars, but I don't have near as many as I wish I had because I got rid of so many great ones. But I've been playing Parker guitars on stage since '94, because I can switch between acoustic and electric.
The tone from that.
Yeah, because I like to play rhythm to my own self, and then I like to go into the solos later. So it's a perfect instrument for me live. So I've probably had about 10 or 12 of those. I've probably got about 5 or 6 right now.
Yeah.
And I've got a Les Paul. I've got a Tele. I've got some really nice acoustics. A great mandolin. I've got a 56 Les Paul Jr., which is sweet. And
P90s in that 56. What kind of pickup is
I
that?
don't know. See, that's why I'm not a.
You're not a gear person. You just know what you like and
Yeah.
what you like to hear. I was just curious what they had in that thing.
Yeah, I don't.
No worries. I'm
For
just
as long
curious.
as playing guitars, I got a Rick 12. For as long as I've been playing guitar, I'm not. Like, people start talking technical stuff.
Yeah, I just like the way that thing sounds,
Yeah.
man. I just went ahead and got. But that's an interesting aspect of John Schwab that I think is kind of cool. You're going to deliver the sound that you're feeling at the moment, and
Hope so.
Use the tools that you can depend on.
Yeah.
and know work for you. That's cool. Good stuff. Any other? What's your favorite memory from
all 55 years.
couple of them? Throw a couple.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, there's so many, John. And you're one of the people. We could do a whole 2026 series on John Schwab stories. I know but a couple items that come to mind for you.
Yeah. Well, we just hanging out, and one of the great moments was for me. I've always been a huge John Prine fan, and I was down there in Nashville meeting with one of my songwriting buddies, and he would always let me stay at his place. He had a beautiful place, and then I would usually go down early. This is back in the '90s, what I'm talking about now, and I would go get down there. go to the Bluebird or something before it was a big, tourist trap and stuff. And he told me, he said, you got to go down there tonight because they're doing a tribute to Townes Van Zandt because Townes Van Zandt had passed. And I went to the Bluebird. And I walked in. And there's only, have you ever been there?
At the Bluebird?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, there's only like 6 seats at the bar. Well, I walked in and there were three open. I sat down at the bar, and the show started, and it was Rodney Crowell, Steve Earle, John Prine, Guy Clark. I mean, it was the who's who of Nashville cats, and songwriters. And so I'm sitting there, and there's a seat open, and Prine's set ended, and he came and sat next to me, and I never liked meeting my heroes, especially in a forced, episode.
Situation, yeah.
Right? Yeah, but this was totally organic, and we started, just shooting, just like you would with anybody at a bar, and having shots together, and we ended up getting kicked out of the place. We were the last 2 in there, and we sat out. We stood out in the parking lot and talked for 45 minutes or so, and
at 2 a.m.
Yeah, and that just popped into my head when you said special moments. But and also
That's pretty damn cool.
there's Charlie Daniels Volunteer Jam. We played 5 of those. I think you ever heard of those? Charlie Daniels.
I have not heard of the Charlie Daniels one.
Charlie Daniels Volunteer Jam. And the first year we were there, I remember it was Billy Joel, Ted Nugent, of course. It was Amy Grant. She was like 14, and of course, there were all those, Marshall Tucker, Allman Brothers, all those guys,
right on.
And it went on and on. But after the show, we're over at the hotel where they had everybody. Oh, yeah, David Lee Roth was there that year too. He was something, and we were in a room. It was John Prine was in there, and we were just guitar pull, and just sitting there watching that just really jumps into my head, stuff like that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you come back around to making plans for the future, what are you saying, John?
I feel right now that if it all stops today, I've had a great ride. I'm just
I don't see that happening.
It's still rolling, and I don't want to I don't want to travel that much for playing. I don't want it's not we try to stay within 100 miles
to play.
Yeah. But we've got a new album we're going to do. We haven't figured out how we're going to present it. I don't know if it's going to be a McGuffey Lane album or a solo album. We've got a backing for it now, and people want another one. And Molly and I are talking. Molly Pocket and I are discussing it and trying to figure out how to approach it.
Right.
How to approach it. Does it even make sense to make an album? I mean, should you just put out one song at a time and then, get
Let
some
the singles speak for themselves and all that?
So we're very early on, and we haven't figured out all that stuff yet. But
Right.
yeah,
It's good though. Communication's always key, I find, when you're working with people, especially in music, because music is fluid and lots of opportunities, lots of different change and whatnot. How do you think you've been so successful in keeping a steady stream of creative juice with your project for 55 years, John?
Yeah, I don't, man.
It's just John Schwab, isn't it?
That's just what I do, and I'm not really good at like I say, verbalizing how I have done it. I wish I was better at it. I wish I could, Molly is a great teacher. She's the best teacher and encourager of musicians I've ever seen. And I mean, I think I have a little bit of that in me, but it doesn't roll off me like it does her, you know. And where am I going with this, Len?
Not sure. Maybe it was Molly. When did you meet Molly?
Molly?
She's been kind of your partner in
Yeah.
crime here for the
33
duration,
years.
right?
33 years. She was like, I think she was 20. No, I'm not allowed to say how old she is. So
No,
I'm not
we're
going
not
to say
going
how
to
old
go.
she
We're
was.
not going to go there.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
if I
been a
tell you how
while.
old she was when
No one's going to believe you, are they?
I know, but no, she's just been a rock, and I mean, you know, the whole band. I've been so blessed to have so many wonderful people around me. You know, Terry Efall and Steve Reese, who are the original founders of the band, are still with me today. You know, got some great young cats that we've added. I call them young cats. I mean, they're 35 and 50. But yeah, I was so blessed to have Randy Huff for a drummer for so many years, and he's been forced to take a back seat now. So I've got a guy, Jeff Peters, who we actually played together during the Sasapa days. But it never went anywhere. When the label went up, belly up, so did that band. He's playing drums with us. A guy named Mike Gilliland's playing harmonica. You know Mike?
I don't.
Yeah,
but I know his name.
He's great.
I've seen him perform, obviously.
Guy Steve Stash Hensley is playing some guitar. Molly on bass, and Steve Reese is still on stage with us singing his little heart out. And so I think I hope I named everybody, but it was still a great crew we've had. I've just been so lucky with all these guys, man, you know. And I love them all. I do, yeah.
Did you name the band?
No, Steve Reese grew up on a street called McGuffey Lane in Athens, Ohio. And that's where the name came from. Yeah. And for 30 years at least, they couldn't keep a street sign up. People always stole them. So they started just putting blank green signs up where McGuffey Lane was.
That's where we are.
Yeah. But it's just a short little street.
Man. That's really cool.
It is. Yeah. And
how often you go back? You go back and hang there? You guys ever do anything there?
No. I mean, I've gone up there and just checked it out a couple of times. But you know, Steve and Terry, like, they started playing together as a duo called Scotch and Soda back, in '74, and that's why we just had our 50th year reunion, because that was, I always like to say I'm one of the newer members of the band. I didn't join until '77, And
but you opened for them, though, right?
Yeah.
That counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I was not going to be in another band. I was sick of the band drama, and I'd be up there playing my solo gig, and all of a sudden Steve Reese is up there playing a little bass on a song, and he wanted to sing, play along. Well, that's cool, and then another night, Terry's up there playing a little guitar with us, or Dick Smith's playing a little drums, and then one day they said, "Hey, why don't you get in this picture?" They were literally taking a promotion picture, and they said, "John, why don't you get in this picture?" That's how they asked me to get in the band. Get in the picture, buddy.
That's a cool detail to know.
Yeah.
That's fun.
They come to me once in a while.
What a time for you, man! You're living the life.
I feel really lucky that I could do what I love for my life. And don't they say, if you find something you love that you can do for your work, you'd never work a day in your life, right?
And you're showing us how to do it, John.
Well,
and you're still doing it.
I am.
That's what you do, and it's embraced and loved by so many.
Yeah, we've got the 25th Zachariah reunion coming up on January 31st.
In 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up here from this recording.
Yeah, the bar Zachariah's was open about 4 years, and we just are going to be doing our 25th reunion of a bar that was only open for 4 years.
I was a younger person then, but not much younger. But I knew older folks, not much older, that frequented those places, and the Castle and Zacharias, and just iconic, vein of tremendous music.
There were a lot of people. That was back when you had 3-2 beer stuff, so you could drink when you were 18, right? And I think it was the Bexley High School class of 77 or 78. They wanted us to play at their senior party, which was like didn't start till midnight or something like that, and so we were there, but the powers that be, when we went on break, they made us come out to this van, and they took us to the principal's house because they didn't want us to fraternize with their girls. And little did they know that all their girls had fake IDs and were down at Zacharias every night anyway.
So it was, it's all the same.
Yeah.
John Schwab, it's a pleasure to be able to listen with your own voice, talk about the joys of making music for as long as you have, and it's also interesting to note too the gratefulness that's so genuine that you convey, talking about the music and talking about the people that you've worked with and talking about the people that come to hear McGuffey Lane, come to hear John Schwab, whichever version of your music that you're performing in whichever capacity. And I just am so grateful personally too that you're able to make the time for something like this.
Oh yeah.
To talk about it, and we'll have it recorded, and anyone that wants to hear this story, things you have to say about it in this capacity, it's a little different than seeing me on stage. But I think a lot of folks will find a lot of value and a lot of appreciation too hearing from you this way.
Something I just thought of that Molly and I talk about a lot in the last few years are the fact that her and I both feel the same way. We don't really ever feel totally 100% comfortable, except when we're on stage playing music. That's when we are at our most comfortable, and it's that's when all of our the negative thoughts go out of your head,
Right.
Especially when we see people like there's this little lady, it's like 82 years old, comes to see us every Wednesday, and every time we get done, she comes up and says to me, "John, the music brings me so much peace." There's no better pay than that. I don't care. I do that for free. If I can give her peace, you know what I mean? Oh, don't tell the people at the gig. But
it's a spiritual experience for many, to come see you and to hear the music and to allow themselves to feel. For me, music's always been about how you feel, how it makes you feel. It's memory, it's emotion, and it's a physical, response. You're gifted, and it's a gift that is a great example, John.
well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
It's a lot for folks to see and learn from too. It's great. Any other stories you want to throw our way, sir? Yeah, I know I could do a series through the entire month of January, and I'd love to do it. And I know if Gabrielle were able, she wanted to come tonight and be part of the conversation, but she wasn't able to do it tonight. But I'm grateful to her too for allowing us to have this talk too, because it's fun to hear the stories behind the voice in this capacity outside of the music.
Yeah, well, maybe if we do it again, we should take a few shots before we start, and then maybe some, bring along one of the guys or something, and that's when stories start flowing.
Love to.
People always want me to write a book, and I'm like, I sit down, I don't think of stuff, and I would. Could we mention Joe? Because
We're going to. I kind of wanted to see that, John, because Joe Morris is a fallen music brother.
Yeah.
And it happened today. And I just want to let folks know that, John Schwab reached out to me today, and, I kind of caught maybe a pause in the schedule, and we talked it through, and I didn't know what was going on today, but, we did lose Joe Morris.
Yeah, he was, he was our road manager when we, at our, peak days back in the Allman Brothers and the Charlie Daniels days and all that Atlantic Records days. And then ever since then, he's been, a road manager on the road for many people. Like, he's most recently been with Daryl Worley, who had that song "Have You Forgotten." He's been on the road. Rap groups, rock bands. I mean, he's the world's best road manager, and there's a long list of people he's worked with over the years, and I think I told you I'd spoken with him via text like 2 weeks ago, and he reached out to me at like 12:30 at night. What's going on, man? I said, hey, how you doing? He said, I'm doing beautiful. We just got done with the show. I'm on the bus. I'm going down the road with Daryl and the boys, and doing exactly what I want to do. Life is great. And that's the three last words he said to me on text. And then I found out today that, he was a decorated Green Beret Special Forces guy. He was a little skinny guy, but he was dropped behind, but you would never know it. He'd never talk about that stuff, but he was something else. And God bless you, Joe. I love you, man.
Very sorry for your loss, and for those that knew him and his family as well. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So shout out to Joe Morris.
Yep.
Man. I think maybe on that note, sir, if you want to get a shot with me, we can go around the corner and let's toast your friend Joe Morris. Go and do that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right. Unless there's something else that you want to.
I'm good, man. When I'm on the spot, that's not what I don't think of stuff.
I know, it's more of a thing,
Yeah.
and I think, but we'll take a break from that news there, and a shout out to him and his years of working with you and working with all your music friends and efforts there. All right, John Schwab, episode number 131. Sir, I want to take you up on your offer whenever you have time. You want to get some friends. Maybe you got an idea, a theme. You guys want to come over and hang out.
Yeah.
We can do that. I'd love to do another recording with you to talk through. We'll do as many series of John Schwab episodes.
It was
as
fun,
you
man.
want to do, man.
It was fun talking with you, man. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Episode number 131, John Schwab.
That's my lucky number, 131.
Sometimes it works out that way, baby.
No, it's not my lucky number. I just made it up.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye-bye.